Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Police are still looking for a man who stabbed a pregnant woman and her boyfriend this morning in Grand Forks. Police say he could be dangerous and you should make sure you lock your doors tonight. The victims tonight share their story exclusively with Valley News Live about how they survived what they say was a random attack.
I had nothing to protect myself with other than my fists.
One of the victims of the double stabbing Monday morning is home safely.
Saw her walking down the hallway bleeding, just bleeding out.
Gonzalez is describing his pregnant girlfriend. It all started this morning.
She went to go open the door and there was a skinny gentleman at the door staring at her with nothing but just hate, and just decided to start throwing a knife into her stomach and her chest.
He says the man they've never seen before started attacking.
Seen him throw her on the floor and was trying to grab her, and I just came up and tackled him.
That's when the assailant turned the knife on him.
After I get him off and, fought him off of her, he came chasing after me and I jumped off the balcony.
He says he shattered his wrist and messed up his knee. Meanwhile, he gave his girlfriend enough time to flee to the neighbors.
She showed up at my doorstep, bleeding.
She made it downstairs. Her neighbor helped stop the bleeding from her neck.
The moment that it really struck me was when her eyes were rolling back and she looked at me and asked me if she was going to die.
She didn't.
I just got told by the victim's boyfriend that I held pressure long enough and hard enough that it formed a clot in her neck to keep her from dying.
As for the baby,
it's a boy, Gabriel Paul.
6 months along. Despite the trauma this morning, gratitude. His family is still intact.
It's a bad Monday, but you want to know what? I'm grateful that I'm here on this Monday.
They're all expected to make a full recovery as police turn their attention to catching the man responsible. From Grand Forks, Ryan Laughlin, Valley News Live.
Police are still asking for your help to track down the person who attacked Gonzalez and his girlfriend. They describe him as a Hispanic man in his mid-20s, just over 6 feet tall, and had a bald or shaved head. He is considered potentially dangerous, and police are urging people to keep their doors locked, even if they're home. If you have any information, they're asking you to call police at 701-787-8000. We've got an update on a story we've been following for you the past few weeks. We now know the plans for Savannah Graywin's funeral. Service will be held this Thursday, September 7th at 10:30 a.m. at First Assembly Church in Fargo. This announcement follows an outpouring of community support for the Graywin family after tragically losing Savannah. According to the Savannah LaFontaine Graywin official Facebook page, a local couple offered to donate a custom headstone for the Graywin family. Also, the Fargo North football team just held a Miracle Minute fundraiser, collecting over $1,200 for the U.S. Bank Fund. And get this, just 1 minute. A concerned parent reached out to us on our whistleblower hotline about a special education teacher being hurt at their child's school. The teacher ended up being diagnosed with a concussion. School official Anne Marie Campbell tells Valley News Live a teacher got a concussion while working with a student at Carl Ben Eielson Middle School last Friday, but cannot tell us if it was a special education student involved in the incident. Teacher safety was one of the main reasons contract negotiations stalled between teachers and the Fargo School Board up until 2 weeks before the school year started. The final contract teachers signed did not add any language on guaranteeing a teacher's right to safety. West Fargo police say it is the biggest drug bust they've had in a long time, maybe ever. Take a look. Officers stopped a car on I-94 for a traffic violation and ended up finding illegal drugs that they say are worth more than $700,000. The officer and his canine partner checked the vehicle out, and that resulted in a search, which then turned up 125 pounds of marijuana and other drugs in the car. Police identified the driver as Hans Wagner from California. He is in the Cass County Jail charged with delivery of marijuana. It's become very common over the last several years. People protesting on Labor Day for higher wages. It happened all over our country today. They're taking a look at a Labor Day rally in the Twin Cities where they're hoping to get a $15 an hour minimum wage. Even though people are fighting for $15, several studies have been published that say the minimum wage should be over $20 by now to keep up with the cost of living. Right now, the federal minimum wage is $7.25. And back in our area, there were no rallies, but people were, of course, working. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker went to a few places we expect to be open, not just on Labor Day, but almost all holidays. He shares with us what they had to say about working this day.
I can grab those out of your way for you. Kara Jacobson, like so many other people, clocked in this Labor Day.
It's been a busy day. We've already had a couple parties come in, so it's been a good one though.
For hundreds of thousands of Americans, working on federal holidays is just part of their job.
Strawberry lead? Yeah. Okay, go for a pint.
Pardon me?
Go for a pint?
Yes. Okay. Aaron Templin, one of the owners of Front Street Tap Room, says people in certain industries know they're going to be working on holidays.
In the food and beverage industry, you don't really see Labor Day as a holiday. You just kind of figure you might have to work. There's a lot of restaurants, bars that need to be open. People want to go to them.
But people in those industries expect you to realize this.
I think it's important to remember that a lot of people would rather be spending time with family, but they're here instead, maybe because they have to work. They didn't really have a choice, so it's really nice to understand that maybe if you're in this industry, maybe tip a little bit extra on holidays. Doesn't have to be much, but it's kind of nice to know that people still care.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
And on the subject of working, a new work survey says that workplace safety is a top concern for most people when they're looking at a place to work. This is beating out wages and benefits. But the study also found that people only really pay attention to safety when there's serious workplace accidents and injuries. Participants said that stress was a big contributor to workplace accidents, with 13% of them saying that their job is always stressful and another 21% saying their work is often stressful. Some people are asking, when will another construction project impacting thousands of drivers be done? The 32nd Avenue project is expected to be completed by October. Today, no work was being done, but movement on the project is visible. The City of Fargo late August update said drivers will soon see the south side of the intersection on 39th Street to reopen in both directions. Now, some of the interstate ramps are still closed and traffic over the bridge is still down to one lane as well. The speed limit on 32nd Avenue is still reduced to 25 miles per hour and 45 on I-29. A busy Fargo intersection will see changes starting tomorrow as road work preparations begin. The intersection of 13th Avenue and 25th Street will see reconstruction of the intersection to improve the surface. The City of Fargo says the area has lots of potholes and preventative maintenance will no longer work. Drivers should anticipate the change and expect delays. The intersection will stay open, but lanes will be reduced. This is the first phase, and it starts next week. The intersection will be done in sections. Veterans from a local organization are going above and beyond to help Harvey victims. The Fargo-Moorhead-based organization, The Fallen Outdoors, is a nonprofit focused on helping veterans of all kinds get involved with the outdoors as a way of coping with a number of issues. Now, they're taking their supports over to Harvey victims with $5,000 in supplies and more than a dozen volunteers. They went to help out any way that they could, and they spent days driving back and forth. Members did everything from getting supplies to those in need to looking for stranded residents in those hard-hit areas. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
It was an eventful day today. Robert, holy smokes, we saw hail, we saw wind gusts, we saw even cooler temperatures today.
Severe storm over in Hubbard County, golf ball sized hail with that. A lot of wind throughout the valley. We saw winds gusting well over 40, at times over 50 miles per hour. Detroit Lakes, 58 mile per hour wind gust earlier today, but much calmer. Right now, a live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Some mostly clear skies here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and temperatures dipping on down. Already 55 degrees. Those winds are light now, but they're going to pick up again as we head through your Tuesday. Right now, it's cooling down quickly. 46 already up in Langdon, 50 over in the Bemidji area, also 50. Down in the Wapaton-Breckenridge area. Winds have become much lighter, still seeing some 5 to 15 mile per hour winds. That's generally what we'll see as we head through the overnight hours. Tomorrow, though, they'll pick up again with some gusts over 30 miles per hour. Not a whole lot of cloudiness until you get into far northern portions of Minnesota. Those clouds actually going to keep temperatures from dropping as much as the rest of the area. Underneath those clouds, we have seen a few showers, and those will continue to drift off towards the south, mainly impacting Lake of the Woods County over the next few hours. For the rest of us, the rain is on out of here. Northern Plains, pretty quiet out there. You've got lots of rain falling over portions of southern Ontario. Across the national map, some showers and even some thunderstorms across the southern portions of the U.S. and off towards the east, quite a line of storms and numerous severe storms along that in Illinois, Ohio, northwest PA, and even western New York. Out in the Atlantic, all eyes on Hurricane Irma, still packing winds of 140 miles per hour. That makes it a Category 4 hurricane. It's about 410 miles east of the Leeward Islands, right about there. Hurricane warnings here, hurricane watches for Puerto Rico. And as we go through time, general trend is going to be a northwest-northwest path, and then all models say it's going to turn to the right. It's just a matter of when it does that turn. Is it before it reaches the U.S.? Is it right over Florida? Does it go into the Gulf? A lot of question marks remain with that. We'll continue to keep an eye on Hurricane Irma. For us, as we head through the overnight hours, again, that chance for a few sprinkles up in northern portion of Minnesota. Elsewhere, it's really going to cool on down with temperatures dipping down into the 30s in a few areas across northern portions of the valley. Could see some isolated pockets of frost. Now, as we head through the day tomorrow, a bit more cloudiness, especially east of the Red River. Along with that, a few isolated showers elsewhere, some partly to mostly sunny skies. And it's going to be a cool one. Highs only in the 60s and 50s across the region. By tomorrow at 10, already dipping down once again into the 40s and 50s. Here in Fargo, we'll start off the day in the upper 40s by lunchtime, into the lower 60s, and those winds cranking up by the time we get to lunchtime, and not much of a warm up after that. Getting into the mid to upper 60s, just about it for our high. Picture of the day, it's a hazy sunset at Lake 7. This in the Frazee, Minnesota area. Thanks to Sarah for sending this in. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast, and touch of fall as we head through your Tuesday night and on into Wednesday. Looks like much of the area, especially across the northern third of the area, could see some frost. Warmer on Wednesday, even warmer still as we wrap up the week. Some upper 70s Thursday and Friday, 80s as we head into the weekend. And right now, the only chance of rain over the next 7 days, so a chance for a few showers and storms late Sunday and early Monday.
And are we still behind in that rainfall for our area?
We're still way behind, well over 5 inches here in Fargo. We got 0.17 officially at the airport. Some areas saw a lot more than that, but generally still well behind.
Okay, thank you, Robert. And some promising new research to help combat a deadly form of cancer. We've got the details on the possibly life-saving test right after this break.